I didn't see these allegations coming, but here they are, and they're pretty bad, almost Diddy-like even. But there is something to be said of why these allegations have come about, and you'll see here in just a second. So unless most of you have been hiding under a rock for the last 48 hours or so, you know that rapper Fat Joe has come under fire, a very salacious allegation. There are a lot of things that are alleged in this lawsuit that he's done that are, again, Diddy-like or even worse than Diddy, because these allegations, they allege that he was messing around with people that are not of legal age, if you will. But the man that is levying this lawsuit against him has a past with Fat Joe, right? And this is what I'm talking about, if you will. Before we get into this article, here we go. This is from TMZ. This was April 29th. Fat Joe suing his ex-Hypeman who claimed he liked them young.
Bitch, ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way.
Now, let's get into this article because this guy is suing Fat Joe now, but Fat Joe sued him earlier. It says here, Fat Joe has filed a hefty lawsuit against his former hype man for slandering him on social media, claiming the guy and his lawyer are trying to shake him down for a payday. TMZ Hip Hop obtained court docs filed by Fat Joe on Tuesday, back in April, which he claims his former hype man Terrence T.A. Dixon is trying to collect money he didn't earn and resorted to publicly calling the rapper a PDF file on social media when he didn't get his way.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch.
Yeah. According to the lawsuit, Dixon claimed on social media Fat Joe flew a 16-year-old across state lines for pleasure and posted the allegation along with a picture of Joe, Diddy, and DJ Khaled. All right, let's continue. These allegations were made as a part of a money grab generated by Dixon's attorney, Joe Tyrone Blackburn, who essentially is also in the mix right now currently, who also represent Diddy accuser Lil Rodney in a separate case. Says the lawsuit says details how Joe and Dixon began working together in 2006 when Joe offered him a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be part of his team, complete with compensation, luxurious travel, touring, and other fringe benefits that accompany being a superstar in rap's inner circle. Here's where the mix-up comes in. Joe says the partnership ended amicably in 2019 and says he never heard any money complaints for 6 years until Dixon began posting on social media with complaints he should have been paid more for his past work. He says Dixon lawyered up with Blackburn in March and fired off a legal demand letter asking for compensation as a ghost writer on several of Joe's tracks. When those demands weren't met, Fat Joe says Dixon upped the ante by spreading salacious lies about Joe and falsely claiming Joe blocked him from obtaining outside funding for his own record label startup.
You think you can do this to me?
So this man, T.A. Dixon, that is in the lawsuit right now, tried to Fat Joe sued him before for essentially trying to tear down his character because he didn't get what he wanted. All right. So this is why I said in my intro, what is the basis of this lawsuit in the first place? All right. And with that being said, let's get to the Fox article in question. Rapper Fat Joe claims as $20 million extortion scheme. Rapper's attorney claims the allegations are part of an extortion scheme as accuser's lawyer compares him to Sean Diddy Combs. Woo!
Bitch, ain't no
Man.
way. Ain't no fucking way.
Let's get into it.
What happened?
Rapper Fat Joe is facing $20 million lawsuit for allegedly engaging in abuse against minors.
Probably a minor.
Among other accusations, the lawsuit was filed on Thursday by his former hype man, here we go, T.A. Dixon, in Southern District of New York. The suit accuses Fat Joe, whose real name is Joseph Antonio Cartagena, of a sustained campaign of exploitation. The rapper systematically engaged in coercive labor exploitation, financial fraud, sexual manipulation, violent intimidation, and psychological coercion. That's a lot to say.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch.
Dixon claimed in the 157-page lawsuit obtained by Fox News Digital. The lawsuit added that it was all intended to enrich Fat Joe and his associates while deliberately suppressing, silencing, and erasing Dixon's substantial creative, artistic, and commercial contributions, which were foundational to defendant Cartagena's professional success and personal brand. Woo-wee, man, oh man. So he's saying that this guy pretty much had a criminal, Fat Joe pretty much had a criminal enterprise, much like Diddy, and he used his money and influence and all these other kind of tools to do very nefarious things, if you will, all right?
What's next? Give me something else. What can't you do? I can do it.
So, yeah, T.A. Dixon in the District of New York said all this stuff, suppressing him. What else did he say? Let me scroll up here. He used suppressing, silencing, erasing. Oh, man, I mean, sustained campaign of exploitation. Okay, let's read some more. All right. If you've made it this far in the video and you're still here, thank you again for your viewership. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and that notification bell that way you can be notified whenever I go live or drop new content. Also, if you want to donate to the channel, please do so by hitting the Cash App $sign Mr. Normie. And you can also go to my Ko-Fi page, ko-fi.com/workingmanmg. Also, I'm trying to build a community on Locals. So if you would, go please check out my Locals page and you can join for just $5 a month. You can post and we can build a community of like-minded working men over there. Thank you for your time. Now back to the video. Fat Joe's lawyer told Fox Digital, the lawsuit filed by Tyrone Blackburn and Terrence Dixon is a blatant act of retaliation, a desperate attempt to deflect attention from the civil suit we filed first. Remember the one I told you before, which exposed their coordinated scheme to extort Mr. Cartagena through lies, threats, and manufactured allegations. Now, if you look in the other article, there were pictures in there this guy posted to Instagram, which had Fat Joe in very compromising situations. And this was a plot or a ploy to smear his name during his lawsuit, which didn't work. And so now he's pretty much getting his lick back on Fat Joe by filing a lawsuit against him. All right. Says it added law enforcement is aware of the extortionate demand at the heart of this scheme. The allegations against Mr. Cartagena are complete fabrication. Now, if I'm saying Cartagena wrong, Cartagena, I mean, I'm sorry, because I don't really speak, that language. So if I'm messing up, forgive me in advance. Lies intended to damage his reputation and force a settlement through public pressure. Mr. Cartagena will not be intimidated. We have taken legal action to expose this fraudulent campaign and hold everyone involved accountable. Blackburn, Dixon's attorney, told Fox News Digital, Fat Joe is Sean Combs minus the Tusi. What? That minus the Tusi, huh?
Ain't no fucking way.
That is a heavy allegation there. Of course, there's a drug known as pink coca. It is clear he has learned nothing from his 2013 federal conviction, referring to the rapper's previous conviction on tax evasion charges. Fat Joe's alleged exploitation extended to beyond financial fraud, Dixon's lawsuit claimed, adding he was allegedly forced into humiliating situations, including acts performed under duress and surveillance, accompanied by threats he would be left in a foreign country if he did not comply. Again, this is very, very heavy allegations. Let's continue. The lawsuit also claims that two of Fat Joe's associates, Peter Pistol Pete Torres and Richard Rich Playa, who were also included as defendants in the lawsuit, actively engaged in physical threats, violent assaults, and intimidation tactics on Cartagena's explicit instructions, sustaining a climate of fear and coercion against plaintiff and others who challenged the enterprise control. He claimed he was coerced into more than 4,000 acts.
Enemy spotted.
To maintain his standing with the enterprise. This is like some what you call that? Some Illuminati mess, huh? Dixon also alleged during his time with the rapper, he personally witnessed him engage in relations with people who were 15 and 16 years old.
What?
Wow. All right. In exchange for cash, clothing, and payment of her cell phone bill, defendant would get top and other acts performed on him by minor Doe 1, the lawsuit claimed. Dixon said that minor Doe 1 was 16 years old.
Enemy spotted.
What?
Oh boy. And this is the biggest one that everybody's talking about right here, right? He claimed that Fat Joe began having relations with a second minor when she was 15 years old after a concert overseas and paid for her to get a Brazilian butt lift. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fat Joe also allegedly had relations with a third minor who met the rapper before she turned 16. He was quote unquote in love with this individual and even contemplated leaving his wife for her, the lawsuit claimed.
Bro, come on now, dog.
Yeah. Okay. In a recorded conversation, minor Doe 3 and her 15-year-old cousin described in detail to plaintiff how inappropriate it was for a defendant who was in his late 30s at the time to be fawning over children, the document alleged.
Enemy spotted.
So, I'm not going to read any more of this. You get the gist of it, right? There's other allegations in here about, not getting paid and all this other kind of stuff. Oh, man. Yeah. It's getting bad, okay? But y'all see it. These allegations are very heavy, salacious, very damning if true. Also, I would say even worse than Diddy because the stuff that Diddy was doing, allegedly, right, was with adult women. Okay? This stuff right here is worse, at least by today's standards, right? This is terrible. Okay. So again, like I said, I think that this is just a retaliation because Fat Joe sued him because he didn't get what he wanted. He was trying to spread him out there to be a bad person. And so now he's turned around suing Fat Joe pretty much for the same allegation that he sued him for before, thinking that he's going to win, right? So we'll see what happens, okay? We'll keep you posted as always, just like the Diddy case. I haven't really covered it that much because a lot of other people have. So I'm letting it run with it, not being a spectator. But if anything happens with Fat Joe or if anything happens with my man, what's his name? Tyler Perry, we'll keep you updated, all right? And with that being said, thanks for attending another episode of the Working Man Podcast. I am your host, Nicholas J. Fury. Let me know what you think about these allegations against Fat Joe. And do you think that they are valid, or do you think this is just a get-back game to get some money because he feel he was slighted some kind of way? And he chose the worst way to do it, or the way that would get most attention by claiming that Fat Joe is a PDF file. Let me know what you're thinking about down in the comment section. And please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell on your way out of the door. And remember, Fat Joe, reality checks are free. See you next time.